Welcome into this week's edition of the Coaches Show. We're all about baseball and softball this week, and joining me first is our head baseball coach, Adam Chamblee. Coach, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, glad to be here once again.
And Coach, obviously a week where you went 3-1, so it was a really good week. Might have had a chance at 4-0. You dropped one. We'll talk about that drop second, but first we're going to talk about the big road sweep. You went on the road for both of these, your last two final road doubleheaders, in a big, huge sweep against Southwest. You had a revival of the Coca-Cola Challenge. You were able to win that. You maintained the Bat Trophy, maintained possession of it as well. But just your thoughts overall on the sweep of Southwest.
Yeah, obviously it was a huge day, for us. One of those games where they really want to beat us, we really want to beat them, even though we want to win every game just because it's a conference game. But it means more that it is Southwest, and the rivalry and the bat and all of that. But no, it was a huge day, ton of energy throughout the day, a little bit of chippiness at one point throughout the day, which, you kind of get that in a rivalry. So I think I told somebody, I thought it 100% lived up to the hype of kind of how we tried to portray how the day would go, and I think it definitely went that way. Just back and forth, I thought both teams played really, really hard and competed all day. So we were super happy to be on the positive side of it.
So you look at this one, and the guys jumped out to a 1-0 lead early, scored one in the top of the first, and really maintained that until the bottom of the third. Southwest scored 3 runs, and then after that, the guys responded in a huge way. I thought you scored 10 unanswered, really capped off by a huge 2-run home run by Isaac McClinty. I think that was in the 7th at that point. I was keeping up with it while softball was playing, and I think at one point that happened while we had a little bit of break in the action. I told people on the stream, I said, Isaac McClinty just golfed one out of the Southwest baseball field. And, I was watching, and I saw him swing at it, and I was like, that's awfully low. And the next thing I know, everybody's rounding the bases, and I was like, he hit that out. Yeah. That kind of felt like that was the biggest momentum swing in that one. At that point, it made it 5-3. You went on to score 6 more. They scored 2 more, and that's how you get 11-5. But your thoughts overall on that big home run and just how much it changed momentum for you?
Yeah, I thought it definitely did, because we kind of weren't doing a whole lot, and they brought in the Green, Miles Green, who had thrown really, really well against us earlier in the year. So I think we were kind of like, crap, we got to see this guy again. And he's got a really good slider, and we knew we were going to see it a lot. And that's what Isaac hit out. He threw Isaac a slider, and he hit it really hard and got it out of there, and it was almost like, all right, bam, here we go. Let's play ball, and it just seemed like the momentum shifted right there big time, and we just kind of took off and ran with it, and obviously had a huge offensive day and had, I think, 15 hits, So I definitely think it was kind of the charge that we needed for sure at the time.
Yeah, because you look at it, and you look at this one, 11-5. 8 of your 11 runs came in the 7th, 8th, 9th, really sparked by that 2-run home run, as we've mentioned. But you mentioned it, 15 hits. Tucker Jones led the way. He was 3 of 6 on the day, but he had 3 hits. That led the team. Hagan Combe had 2. J.D. Weed had 2. Sawyer Dunn had 2. Braden Bankston had 2. McClinty had 2, including that home run. So up and down the lineup, you had hits. As Brittany Berry and Christian Cameron also had 1. So kind of, again, a day where up and down throughout the lineup, you just found production all throughout this game.
Yeah, that's one of those days that make it easy as a coach. You don't have to – those are the days you wish every day was like as a hitting coach, as you're sitting over there just, we're hitting doubles and homers, so this is really fun. But there's not a ton of days like that to where sometimes you have to make some things happen, create a little chaos on the offensive side. But, no, those are the fun days when everybody's hitting and scoring a ton of runs. So.
And then you look at the pitching lines. Lucas Harrington got the start in this one. Not a bad line from him. 4 innings, 2 hits, 3 runs. Only one of those was earned. So, the Bears were able to take advantage of an error in that 3-run inning, I believe, is what led to the 3-run inning. A little – you like to see him lower on the walks, I think. 6 walks, 3 strikeouts out of Lucas. But again, not a terrible line from your starter in this one.
No, he was able to get out of some jams, and he competed. He always competes really well. That's one thing I love about him. But that's kind of been an issue a little bit, especially I know we'll talk about it in the next couple games as well. Like the starting pitching lines are not bad, but there's also just we can't walk and hit guys. You know, that's obviously day one elementary type baseball stuff. You cannot give guys free passes. And thankfully, though, we were able to get out of some jams and I thought he still gave us a chance, for sure.
So you also look at it, you mentioned it, Lucas hit 3 guys, so he gave up 9 free passes in this one, and you still found a way to win it because the bats were alive for you in this one. But, one guy that I really want to talk about, Judson Griffin, we've talked about him several times. He's been really sharp in a lot of his relief appearances, especially here lately. This one was probably his sharpest one. He got his first career win, goes out, throws 4 innings of scoreless relief, only allowed 2 base runners on 1 hit. I think that one was late in the outing. A walk and a strikeout for him. Just, I was watching him, and every time I kept watching, I was like, he's pitching with a lot of confidence, and he is dealing right now.
Yeah. No, we've known all year. He had a couple, which, hey, man, it's your freshman year. Guys sometimes get off to a good start, sometimes don't. But he, had a couple rough outings at the beginning of the season, but we stayed with him, and we know what he's capable of when he's in the zone. I mean, he's got a chance to get a ton of outs and get some punch outs. His curveball plays against anybody. So it's been really good to see Judd, have some good outings here lately because he does things the right way and he works really hard.
And then you finish the game out with Jaden Duncan. He came in, pitched an inning, 3 hits, 2 runs. Both of those earned a walk and a strikeout. So I don't think if you asked Dunk, he would say that was a great outing by him, but it was efficient. He got the job done in a game when you needed him to.
Yeah.
So you look at game 2, and this one was a little bit closer than the first one, 5-4 in this one. Guys found a way to just get it done, found a way to get the lead, and just kind of maintain it. You got a great outing from your starter as well too. We'll talk about what Kobe was able to do, but your thoughts overall on game 2 and how the guys were able to, win really kind of 2 different ball games. One where you were able to come from behind, and then you kind of ran away with it late, and then this one where you kind of had to battle throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, you normally see that in our league when you play the 9-inning game, and you see times where it's 15-2 or just a high scoring game, and then you look at the next game and it's like, oh, well, that game was 12-9, and then game 2 was 2-3. Yeah. That happens a lot in our league because a lot of people throw their best arm in the 7-inning game, which obviously makes sense for all of us. So that was kind of the case in this one. Obviously we've got Galot on the mound. They had Luke Leared on the mound, who is, I think he's leading the country in Division II JUCO strikeouts. So he's a really good arm. We knew we would probably see him. But I thought that was, one thing for us, being able to beat him, because not many people have, and knowing that we're going to have to really fight all 7 innings to get this game. And but just really happy to make that happen. I thought we battled really well, and once again we came on top, and Kobe Galot gave us a chance to do it, and we scored enough for him.
You look at the scoring line. Guys scored 2, took an early 2-0 lead in the first. Bears matched it with 2, tie the game there at 2-2. It stays that way through the second. Guys scored 2 in the third, 1 in the fourth. That's going to be the 5 runs they score. Southwest was able to score 2 in the fourth. Maybe looked like they were going to get a little bit more, but Kobe was able to get out of it and then just kind of locked in for those last 3 innings and was really able to shut it down. You only had 6 hits in this one, but Tucker Jones led the way in this one. He had 2 hits. I think if Tucker had his way, he'd ask, can everybody paint Southwest on their jerseys, because he went 5 of 9 in this one. Probably one of his best doubleheaders, especially here late in the year. Yeah. But he had 2 hits. Brentley Berry had a hit. J.D. Weed had a hit. Braden Bankston had a hit, and Sawyer Dunn a hit as well. So there's where your 6 hits are. And you mentioned it. Kobe got the start, got the win, moved to 5-4, and really kind of matched the output with Luke Leared. We talked about him leading the nation in strikeouts. He had 7. Kobe had 7. Very similar lines, but Kobe's line, complete game win, 5 hits, 4 runs, only 3 of those earned, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. So Kobe, again, just came out and does what he does. He just, every time he goes out there, he battles, he competes, and he gives you a chance to win.
Yeah, there's really nothing that you said it. That's exactly my thoughts as well, and I think, a lot of people can see that he's going to give you everything he's got, man, and all of our guys do. I truly think every one of them do, but, he's just a bulldog up there, so we love when he gets the ball.
So then you fast forward to this past Saturday, a little bit of a different kind of aspect to this doubleheader. You had to play it on 2 different days. You don't see that happen very often. Some rain moved into the area after game 1. Game 2, you had to go back to Scuba and play it on Sunday. But you split this doubleheader. You lose game 1, 10-7. Had some chances in this one. just couldn't find a way to push that tying run across or a go-ahead run across, and then you rebound and win Game 2, 3-2. We'll talk about Game 2 in a second, but first, your thoughts on Game 1.
Yeah, I didn't. Obviously, we lost the game, but I didn't think we played bad. I thought they took advantage of some mistakes we did make. I know, like we were talking before. I mean, we walked too many guys, and we had a couple, I guess, arguable pass balls and or wild pitches, maybe some tough pitches to block. But they got away. A couple of them got away with runners on and kind of just some easy runs in there, even though they're a good offense. They swung the bat fairly well, I think, that day. But we battled, and I think we out-hit them. We out-hit them. We just didn't outscore them. So I was proud of our effort. I was proud of our energy, all of that. It was just we didn't win the baseball game.
Right. You look at the line scores. You did out-hit them. You out-hit them 13-7. And even though you had 2 errors, they earned all 10 of their runs. So that's something I think as a coach you've got to feel good about is, yeah, we had a couple of errors, but they didn't hurt us overall. But you look at the lines. They took a 3-0 lead in the bottom of the second. Guys battled back, scored 2, made it 3-2. They scored 2 in the fifth, made it 5-2. Guys scored 2 in the sixth, made it 5-4. They scored 2, got those 2 back. Then scored 3 in the seventh, while we only scored 1, and I think that made it 10-5 at that point. And then guys scored 2 in the ninth, and maybe it looks like in the ninth you're going to keep battling, keep the momentum, but I think a fly out ended that game there, so that kind of ended the momentum there. But again, a game where you look at it and go, we had chances. You got to feel good about that moving forward, knowing that you can go on the road and play a quality opponent like that and be in the game no matter what.
Yeah, we were right there. And I'm glad you mentioned the battling back. That was one thing that I was super proud of. They take the lead, we answer back. They extend the lead, we answer back. They extend the lead again, we answer. Like, we just answered back all day long. And the thing they did a good job of was they never let us tie it. I think they had the lead the whole time. We got within 1 twice, but we weren't able to tie the game. And yeah, even in that last inning, like, that's the thing you can be really proud of as a coach is, like, there's no quit. There's no quit in our guys. They're going to continue to battle. They're going to continue to have good at-bats. So you're always proud of that.
You look at the hitting lines. J.D. Whedon, this one, maybe one of his best games in a Co-Lin uniform. 3 for 4 at the plate with 2 RBIs. Jordan McKenzie had a pair of hits. Braden Bankston had 2 hits. Reese Thomas had 2 hits. Brentley Berry, Hagan Combs, Sawyer Dunn, Christian Cameron, all with a hit. Hagan, 2 RBIs, McKenzie an RBI, Bankston an RBI. So, again, another day we're up and down throughout the lineup. It produced for you. Just needed maybe a little bit more production out of the lineup. But overall, again, another good day offensively for you in this one.
Yeah, no doubt. We continue to battle, like I said.
Right. And then you look at the pitching lines, and we talked about this before. You look at the line for your starter, Andon Bolin. I don't know that you would necessarily say it was a terrible line. 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 7 runs, all of those earned. That's probably a high, and maybe the highest he's given up in his 2 years here. But I think the worst part of the line is not the 8 strikeouts. 8 strikeouts is good. It's the 6 walks. You mentioned that before in the first game, first doubleheader. We're talking about just a little bit higher on the walks than where you want to be, especially when you're battling in a game like this.
Yeah.
And then you look, Judson comes in this one. I thought he pitched really well. 2 innings pitched, 2 hits, 3 runs. Both of those earned 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. So not a terrible line from Judson as well too.
Yeah. Honestly, I thought Bolin had his best stuff that he's had in probably a month. His fastball looked like everything. I was like, he's about to have a really good day. After the first inning, I was like, man, it looks like he's ready to roll, right. And he did. Like, he dominated a couple innings. Once again, just a couple too many walks and just too many freebies. Right. We walked a guy an inning, overall as a pitching staff in that game. But no, I thought he did a really good job as far as the stuff, and he struck out. I don't know, what did he strike out 4 in a row at one point? Or?
He struck out 4 in a row. There was a stretch where we retired 6 in a row. He struck out 5 of the 6.
That's what, yeah.
So it was probably one of the best stretches Andon has had in his 2 years here, and it was very impressive to watch. I was watching it as the softball games were going on, just kind of going back and forth in the action. I was just going, man, Andon is pitching really, really well right now.
He may strike out the rest of the game. He may
the way he's going right now, he may finish with 15 strikeouts.
Yeah.
It didn't end that way, but you know, in that moment, you're thinking, man, it's looking untouchable right now.
Yeah.
So then you look at game 2. Again, we mentioned it a little bit different. You had to postpone it. Rain came through the area. You know, I think I talked to the assistant coaches, Coach Stewart and Coach Benson. I asked, I said, you know, was it that bad? And they were like, it missed it throughout the whole thing. He said about 10 minutes after y'all called it, then the bottom fell out. So it was the right decision, even though I think a lot of people were kind of scratching their heads going, why we got to go back? But the rain came through the area, so that forced you to have to play under some different circumstances. You don't see many times where you have to go back and finish a doubleheader. But that's what happened, and you win game 2, 3-2, a game again where we talked about it in the Southwest Series. You had to battle the whole time, and you kind of, again, you mentioned it. You go into these games expecting those kind of things, but your thoughts overall on the battle and the fight your guys showed in this one?
The same. That's the same thing. You know, they battled the whole time, and facing Bell's a really good arm for East Mississippi. I mean, I jokingly told our guys after the game, it looked like he was on pace to punch out about 18 guys, you know, because he struck out several in the first couple innings. But then we continued to stay with the approach and what we wanted to do, and we got after him a little bit. And, you know, 3 runs was enough, even though, you know, we got on and I don't know that we legit hit a double to drive a run in. We just scored some different ways, however we had to, when we got the runs, and thankfully held them down enough to get the win. So another really tough, hard-earned win, in my opinion.
You did have one RBI double. That was Jordan McKenzie. He was able to score. I think there was a runner on third or something like that.
Yeah,
but he did have the RBI double there. So it wasn't like a runner on second and an RBI, a traditional what you would think RBI double. But he did have one. Reese Thomas was your leading batter in this one. He had 2. Your other guys that had a hit, Braden Evans. We mentioned Jordan McKenzie, J.D. Weed, Brentley Berry. But we'll go back and talk about the scoring line. Guys scored 1 in the third, and it's 1-0, and it's staying 1-0 for a while because the Lions don't score until the bottom of the 5th. They tie it then. I think that was maybe a solo home run. Yeah. The top of the 6th, guys score 1, 2-1. They match you 2-2, and then the top of the 7th. Really, the difference is there's 2 outs, and Braden Evans, one sneaks in on him and hits him, and you get him at first, and I think you knew immediately we're going to get a pinch runner. And you know, you love Braden, but he's probably not. He's not the fastest guy on the team, and even he would say that. So you go to Isaac McClinty, and when I saw y'all do that, I said, okay, we're going for speed. I think there was a pickoff attempt at first that allowed him to go to second on an error, and then Reese Thomas hits one, and I'm watching at home, and Isaac takes off on contact, and I was going, well, that's a 2-out approach. That's why he's doing it, and I'm thinking, we're going to go to the bottom of the 7th tie. The next thing I know, they called safe, and the camera pans out to a wide shot, and Isaac is streaking down the third base line, and I was like, he's going to score! Yeah. And he did, and I was fired up, and I think all of y'all were as well, too. So that kind of made the difference there, and eventually proved to be the you don't usually say this, a game-winning RBI infield single by Reese Thomas. So just an awesome play for a guy who hasn't gotten a lot of playing time, but he's made the most out of all the times that he's had.
Yeah, no, I think he was the highlight of the weekend. I mean, there's a lot you could say about Reese Thomas over the last 2 games. You know, he stepped up when, you know, Tucker being out with an ankle injury, and Reese jumped in there, and, man, I thought he played. The other thing that in that game that you don't necessarily see on the stat sheet as much is he scored when he got a dirt ball read that was a really, really good one. They throw it down to second to try to throw him out. They throw it into center field, and then he gets to third base on the same play and ends up scoring. So he did a lot of things right. You know, he played hard. He played baseball. Right. You know, the way that we teach it and the way that we want him to play it. So I was extremely proud of him. I thought he did a great job. So, and then, you know, Isaac scoring on the ball, the infield single. You know, it's kind of a slower hit ball, and Reese got down the line really well, beats it out, and it worked out perfect because the first baseman's holding the ball, you know, waiting on the umpire to say safe or out, and little does he know, Isaac's running, going home behind him with his back to him, and like you said, kind of bang bang, but he was definitely safe, and thankfully the umpire made the right call, and eventually was the winning run.
Right.
So.
I think by the time the first baseman realized that Isaac was about 75% of the
yeah,
way there
he
already.
was.
So the fact that it was as close as it was a great throw by the first baseman to make it a close play. But a great read there by Isaac. Again, a guy that we talked about, he's sneaky fast. You look at him and you don't, like when you're watching him run, you don't realize how fast he's moving until you're up next to him. You're going, oh, he's getting
He's running, yeah, he's
you know,
moving.
again, he saved a game. Saved that 1-0 game against Holmes. You know, we talked about that. He slipped in the right field and was able to get back up, and because of his speed, was able to make that play. You look at these pitching lines, and you know, Connor Pittman gets to start for you in this one. And for Connor, this is not a terrible line. 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned. 8 strikeouts, you're kind of used to that. 5 walks, a little bit higher than what you like to see out of Connor, a little bit higher than what we're used to seeing.
Yeah.
And you got to give credit to the Lions batters. I think they're very patient batters. They don't chase a lot. They didn't see them chasing a lot of things out of the zone and those kind of things. Kobe comes in this one, it closes it out, gets the win. 2 innings, scoreless, hitless relief. Only gave up 1 base runner. That was via a walk, and then punctuated the game with a game-ending strikeout in the bottom of the 7th. So, you know, Connor did a lot of the hard work. Kobe comes in and gets the win for it. But I think both of them would say, hey, we don't care as long as the team wins.
Yeah, no, they would definitely say that, you know, and they know how big that win was for us, you know. But yeah, I mean, I thought, and I know Pittman, I think he was a little aggravated that, you know, he knows he can pitch better, but man, he still gave us a chance to win. I say that a lot, you know. Really, that's all a pitcher's job. It's not out to go out there and punch out 15 every time, which that doesn't happen a whole lot. But he gave us a chance to win. He competed well, even maybe when he didn't have his best stuff. But you got to go out there every single day, whether your arm feels great or not great, or you have all your pitches or in command or not. You still have to go out there and just compete. And he did that. And then Galat did the same thing. You know, gets us out of a jam and just pitches to contact and makes them earn it. And so. Solid job on the pitching side for sure.
So you look at your last 2 regular season home doubleheaders. It's hard to believe it's here. The end of the year is here. Feels like we just started. But you look at these, and you're going to host an Eagles team out of Hines, and then Kahoma Saturday. Be sophomore day. We'll talk about the Eagles first. A team that, you know, up until the last couple of weeks had not been playing near as well. The last couple of weeks they've kind of caught fire here. Yeah. So they're coming in feeling really good. But what do you know about the Eagles coming into this one?
You know, we played them earlier in the year in that non-conference 3-way. They beat us 7-5. Kind of jumped out on us early. Swung the bat pretty well that day. We were able to battle back. But anyway, like you said, they kind of did get off to a rough start in conference play. But now I think they've won 5 or 6 games in a row. You know, swept Gulf Coast, swept Itawamba, I think, their last doubleheader. So they're playing well. Obviously, we'll see a couple good arms tomorrow, or see a couple good arms out of them. And, you know, so I think they're very similar to us. You know, like they're not going to hit a ton, other than a guy or 2 in their lineup. They're not going to hit a ton of home runs. They're going to be scrappy at the plate. They're going to pitch it, play defense, like very similar to us. But it'll be a solid doubleheader for sure.
So, and then you look forward to this Saturday. You get to honor 14 sophomores during sophomore day, and you also host Kahoma. What do you know about the
17?
It is 17. I keep saying 14. It's 17 sophomores. Yeah. I'll get it right eventually. I promise. About half the roster.
Yeah.
But what do you know about the Tigers going into that one?
You know, I know they beat Southwest last week. You know, they've had some high points. Like they've beat some teams this year that I think they beat Northeast. They beat Meridian in non-conference play, but I don't know that they've been able to do that in the last couple of years, and now they have. So I think they'll be ready to go. I think Coach Biggs does a good job over there. So, you know, we gotta finish the season strong. You know, we've obviously put ourselves in a good position, but we can put ourselves in an even better position if we can just play really good baseball for the next 4 games.
So lots of good things happening for baseball. Again, they go 3-1, sweep Southwest on the road, drop 1 game to East Mississippi, rebound and win that one. So final 2 regular season home games, we'll have both of those on stream. Wednesday hosting Hines, 3-5 on those, I do believe, and then I believe it's 2 and 4 on Saturday for sophomore day. We'll probably have sophomore day, I would assume about 12:15, 12:30 somewhere in there. We'll have that on stream for you as well, folks. If you can't be there, don't worry, we've got you covered. But we hope to see you at the ballpark. But if not, we'll see you on the streams. I'm Kevin Kaiser, Sports Information Coordinator here at Co-Lin. Stick with us through the break. Coming up, we're going to talk about softball and find out how they did last week. And we'll talk about their final 2 opponents of the regular season with Coach Howard after this. Welcome back in. Thanks for sticking with us through the break. And as promised, joining me now is our head softball coach, Meleah Howard. Coach, thanks for joining me.
Glad to be here.
Coach, obviously a really good week for the Lady Wolves. You closed out your home portion of the regular season. You swept both series. You swept Southwest, swept East Miss. Didn't give up but 2 runs in those final 4 games. But your thoughts overall first on the sweep of Southwest?
Well, I told you anytime us and Southwest play, you never know how it's going to go. You got to go in thinking, hey, focus on us, not our opponent. It was a huge crowd. We had a lot of people there, so it was a good day. But really proud of our girls for coming out and playing hard.
So you look at this one, and you jumped ahead of them. You scored 2 in the first, 1 in the second. You're up 3-0 at that point. They scored 1 in the fifth, made it 3-. I said 3-1, but there was 3-1 after the fifth, and then you exploded for 5 runs. That was really punctuated by a big 3-run home run by AG. She also broke a career record in that. Gave a new career RBI record. At that point, I think it was 129 is what we said. So just a big moment for AG, and for it to come at home against a rival team is a special moment for sure.
It was. She's steadily breaking records, but our big innings are kind of sparked by her home run, so I guess maybe that's why people don't want to pitch to her. I don't know, but our girls just feed off of each other's energy, so that's fun to watch.
I told somebody, I said, as the person who's been doing the play-by-play for the last year, it felt really good to finally be on the call for one of those record-breaking moments. She set the home run record at the World Series. She set the RBI record away from home, set the career home run record at Pearl River. So finally, being able to call one was special as well, too. And then you look at the 7th inning, they scored 1, but you're able to get out of it 8-2. That's where you get your final. You look at the hitting lines. Moak had 3 hits in this one. Madison Moak had 3 hits. Emery Warren had a big game with 3 hits as well, too. Those were your 2 leading hitters. Everybody else had 1. That was AG, Zykeria Cole, Taylor Efferson, Leah Phillips, Olivia Bain. So, again, another day, another game where this lineup just produced for you.
They did. And Moak, I love it when Moak is our leadoff because she's always going to set the tone for the game. And, once again, she gets up there and starts the game off with a great start, and it just kind of trickles down from there. So
then you look at the line, the pitching line. Kara pitches another complete game for you, improved to 13-3 at that point. All 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 runs, both of those earned, no walks, 6 strikeouts, and just 1 hit by pitch. So just 1 free base out of Kara in this one. And anytime she's giving you a line like that, it's going to be a great day for you.
A great day.
So, and then you look at Game 2, and Game 2 was quite different from Game 1, and not only in score and in the fact that we had about a 40-minute delay because we lost power at the entire stadium. But your thoughts on Game 2 and just having to overcome something that you're not used to, and that you had a 40-minute delay and you had to pause and everything, but we're able to just step back up and continue on.
Yeah, well, in Game 1, we were kind of expecting to see their ace, Lauren Mounts, and when she didn't throw, we were like, okay, well, maybe they're saving her for Game 2. So going into Game 2, I told the girls, I was like, be prepared. They're probably going to throw their ace right here. Well, little did we know that she was on the injured list and she wasn't going to throw. But, again, we came out and started this game hot, and and everything was going well. Then all of a sudden, I guess, like I said, there was a huge crowd there. So I guess we had so many people and so much going on. We blew a transformer. I'm really not sure, but during that 30 to 40 minute delay, we were just hanging out and like, hey, we want to finish this game. Like, we don't want anybody to leave, stay put. And luckily, energy came out and they got us back going, and we were able to get the game over.
All right. So you look at this one, and you mentioned it, a hot start. You can't get much hotter or a much better start than Madison Moak starting it off with a solo home run. Moak gets this one off, started with a bang. It's a solo home run. Goodbye, softball. 1-0, Lady Wolves. That is the way you get off to a great start here in the second game after taking Game 1 8-2. 1-0, Lady Wolves. 2 batters later, Zykeria Cole hits a 2-run home run. Zykeria Cole puts a charge into one, and it's gone! 2-run home run, 3-0 Lady Wolves. Three batters, a solo home run, a walk, and a 2-run home run for the Lady Wolves. And that's going to bring out Coach Shay Johnson for a meeting in the circle. 2 batters later, Taylor Everson hits a solo home run. And I think at that point, everybody kind of knew, and I think Southwest kind of knew, oh, no, we're in trouble.
Yeah, that's the great thing about our lineup is, Madison Moak can drop a bunt down and beat it out, or she can hit a nuke. And then you have Zy there also who can do the same thing. AG, Taylor. I mean, we've got them all up and down the lineup. Kenley Ainsworth, she's hit several bombs for us this year. So you never really know who's going to come up with a big bomb. I
think one thing you'll notice in the clips of all the home runs, especially those two, Zy and Taylor both kind of go dead center with theirs. Moak goes a little more right center, so that was kind of the power alley for that first inning in that one. In the second inning, you score 5. This was punctuated by a 3-run home run that Taylor Everson hit, and if the scoreboard had not gotten in her way, she would have hit the hitting facility. Yeah. I talked to her during the break. I looked at her. I said, how dare the scoreboard get in the way of you hitting the hitting facility on that one?
Well, we joked with Taylor and we told her, it's your fault the power went out. You hit the scoreboard so hard, you knocked out some power. But yeah, no, that was a no doubter for sure.
So you looked at that, and then the bottom of the third is where the power went out. I think you had your first batter in there. Bailey Goodson's up, and the power goes out. So that's where you have your delay. But then the game resumes. You score 6 in that inning, and then you score 4 in the fourth. And then you don't have to hit in the fifth. Obviously, you're up 19-0 at that point. You get 3 outs pretty quickly in the fifth, and that's how you get that 19-0 line there. And you look at this one, another game where you kind of emptied out the bench. You had 2 hits from Zykeria Cole, 2 from Taylor Everson. She had a game in this one, 2 for 3 with 5 RBIs. Zy was 2 for 2 with 3 RBIs. Sarah Gray Smith had 2 hits. Bailey Goodson had 2 hits. Avery Williams had 2 hits. You had 16 total. Maddie Bruner, Emma Kate Fimiano, Carly Rouse, Olivia Baines, and AG and Moak all with 1 hit in this one. So that's how you get 16 hits. And anytime when this lineup is getting 16 hits, including when you're going to the bench, it's going to be a great day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love it when we can get our bench out there and they can have success too. It's just good for the overall team, and it was fun.
So you look at your pitching lines. Emily Richard gets the start in this one. She got the win, pitched 3 innings, had 3 strikeouts. Carly Rouse pitched an inning, had a walk and a strikeout. Keegan McCorkle pitched an inning, gave up 2 hits and a walk. But again, a day when you were able to use multiple pitchers, or a game where you're able to use multiple pitchers, and they all produced for you.
Yeah, they did, and like I said, anytime we can go show our depth and get them some opportunities, it's always a good day.
And it's always going to be a good day when you look at it and you look up and you go, we only gave up 2 runs and 5 hits in 12 innings of softball. That's right. Usually a winning combination for you.
That's a good day.
So then you fast forward to this past Saturday. You honored all the sophomores. You hosted East Mississippi. Just a special day. Sophomore is always a little bit of a bittersweet day. Even though you've still got a lot of softball left to play, it's still sad knowing that you got to say bye to a group of players that have contributed a lot over the last 2 years. This group especially, first Region 23 championship in a long time, first ever national championship in school history, and still have a lot of chance at some school history going forward. But your thoughts overall on just the day, the sweep, and what Sophomore Day means?
Well, anytime we're getting the field ready for Sophomore Day, we do a few special things. We paint their numbers in the grass. And as Amber and I were getting the field ready, I was like, this is kind of sad. I don't like painting their numbers in the grass because that means it's, the end is near. But, a great group of sophomores, very excited for their accomplishments, but also kind of sad because I know that their time here is coming to an end. And but we celebrated them and we were excited about it. But we did tell them, hey, this is our last regular season home game. But we plan on coming back and playing some more here. So, although it was bittersweet to have that day for them, they know we have a lot more left to do.
So you look at game 1, you win this one 11-0. You score 1 in the first, 2 in the fifth, 4 5 in the second. I got my numbers backwards there, and then 5 in the fourth, and you shut them out the whole way. That's how you get 11-0. You only gave up 2 hits in this one. This one was really punctuated by a big 2-run home run in the second inning by Zykeria Cole, one that she hit that we had to wait and see if it was going to stay fair over the foul pole, and fortunately it did. But you look at this one, 2 hits from Madison Moak, Abby Grace Richardson, Taylor Everson, Kinley Ainsworth, a hit from Lainey Wagasback, Emery Warren, and Zykeria Cole. So again, another day where this lineup they just continue to find ways. And it's not always the home run. There's sometimes where I think Moak and AG had back-to-back doubles and they smoked the balls in both of those. So sometimes, we say home runs are big, but hey, sometimes a double can be just as huge.
I'll take a double off the wall any day.
So you also look at this pitching line, another complete game from Kara, 5 innings in this one. That's all she had to do. She moves to 14-3 overall. Just 2 hits, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, a solid outing for Kara in what was her final home regular season game to pitch.
Yes. Like I said, Kara's business when she's on the mound. Like, you can see it in her eyes. You can see it in her body language. Hey, she's there to take care of business. And, she wasn't happy about giving up the hits, but still a really good day for her. And I want to add, Zai's home run was definitely fair for anybody wanting to know. It was hard to see on the angle from the live stream, but I think that's what the argument was about. And the fans weren't happy about that from East Mississippi. But it was definitely, she rocked it.
Right.
She rocked it, so I was proud of her.
I think I had several people ask me, was it fair or foul? I said, from my point of view in the broadcast position, it was definitely fair when it went over the pole.
When it went over the pole, it was fair. After that, it don't matter.
That's all that matters. So you look at game 2, and this one you look at it and you go 5-0, and you score a run in the first, second, third, fifth, and sixth. The only inning they kept you off the board was the fourth. You had a home run from AG in this one. I believe that was in the first or second inning. But again, another game where you just go out and you handled business. It didn't look like the first game, but still you're able to pitch a true complete game shutout in this one. Your thoughts overall on winning that one?
Well, we got the win, but I will say East Mississippi had a pitcher that was just kind of keeping us off balance. She was changing speeds constantly, locating it well. So we struggled a little bit with her just to get on time because she was doing a really good job of keeping us off balance. But, I tell them all the time, hey, when you score 19 runs, like, why'd you win the game? And they say hitting. Well, in this game, I said, why'd you win the game? And they were like, defense.
Mm-hmm.
We got enough runs across, but our defense this past week was solid. They backed our pitchers up. We've got scrappy girls all over the field, diving, making plays. So that helps keep teams out of big innings, and that helps too.
Right. You look at the hitting lines, AG and Taylor both with 2 hits. You only had 7. Moak, Kinley Ainsworth, Olivia Baines get a hit apiece. That's where you get your 7 from. You mentioned the defense. It was none more prevalent than in the top of the 7th inning. Emily Richard gets the start in this one. Just 2 hits in 7 innings pitched. She gave up a walk. It was a leadoff walk in the top of the 7th. And the very next batter hits into a double play. We'll have that clip. Hopefully we show it to you. Bailey Goodson catches it, flips it to AG, and she fires it over. And anytime you see your defense backing up your pitcher that way, especially at that point in the game when, you could have just gone and got the out at first, but no, let's go get the double play. You got to feel good as a head coach.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I love to see it.
So she had 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, got that win, improved to 7-0 on the year. And Emily, as again, we talked about her last week, is a pitcher who you've put her in a lot of high-pressure situations. You've now given her 3 straight starts, and I don't think she's given up but maybe 2 runs in those 3 starts. It has been very effective for you.
She is, and I'm proud of her. Hope she keeps it up.
So you look at it, and it's, again, we talked with this with Coach Chamblee. It's hard to believe, but the end of the regular season is here. It feels like we just started just a few weeks ago. It doesn't feel like February has been that long ago, but you'll go on the road. You play Hines 3-5 there, and then you'll finish up at Kahoma 1-3. We'll talk about the Hines games first. Games that at the start of the year, I don't know that everybody would have said they were going to have such a high impact here at the end of the year, but these are very important games going forward for postseason standings and conference standings and those kind of things. But what do you know about that Lady Eagles going into that one?
I think they're going to be very scrappy. They're going to play hard. They're definitely going to be a tough matchup for us at Hines. But, again, what my motto is: focus on us and do what we do, and that's all we're worried about right now.
So, and then you'll go and you'll finish up at Coahoma. The Lady Tigers have gotten one conference win this year, but what do you know about them going into this one? I know it's the first time you're going to have to go to Coahoma.
Yeah, so in my 6 years here, this is actually the first time I've been to Coahoma. So I really don't know what to expect. I know it's a pretty good ride there, but we're going to get up early Saturday morning and leave and go and hopefully bring back 2 wins.
So we know going forward, we're pretty confident in the fact that Lady Wolves are going to play in Region 23 tournament and those kind of things, have a pretty good shot at hosting and all those things. But going into the last week, this is kind of where, not saying things haven't mattered beforehand, but now you really got to start dialing in and focus even harder than what you have, because this is the point of the year where, you don't want to say you can get lazy, but you can start just dialing things in and not being fully focused. How do you approach that with the girls and make sure they're focused on everything that they've got going forward?
Honestly, we're just going to try to keep the momentum going the way we have it going right now. We don't want to change anything. I'm a big believer, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Right. So obviously it's worked for us so far. So we're going to kind of keep the same mindset, keep the same game plan as what we've been doing, and focus on one game at a time.
So there you have it, folks. Lots of exciting things continuing to happen for the Lady Wolves as they have all season. Go 4-0 this past week. Sweep Southwest, sweep East Miss. You got 4 coming up, a doubleheader at Hines on Wednesday. 3 and 5 times for those. Hines will carry that stream. We'll give you all the information on social media channels as it's available. And then, of course, they'll finish up at Coahoma on Saturday. 1 and 3 game times for those. Lady Wolves closing out the year, sitting in first place right now, looking forward to the Region 23 Tournament Championship as well, too. But we'll have all that action, all that information for you when it's made available. Hopefully next week during the Coaches Show, we'll be able to talk about that and fill everybody in on what's going on. Until then, I'm Kevin Kaiser, Sports Information Coordinator here at Co-Lin. Thanks for tuning in this week. We'll talk to you on the other side next week.